Hello, everyone. So sorry, we're continuing. We had a lot of requests, people that wanted to come on and share their views. So sorry that you couldn't get the audio. You wouldn't believe it that I had it connected to my headphones. What was it? I had it connected to my Bluetooth earlier on in the day. So I forgot to disconnect the Bluetooth. So it's on. I've even uploaded it as part 1. It's on. There is volume, but because it was connected to my Bluetooth, you guys couldn't hear me. And I was wondering what the problem was. It's crazy. I've just been laughing at myself. I just discovered that it was connected to my Bluetooth. So I'm sorry, guys. So if you're here and you like to, those of you that sent a request to join in, please resend your request. I'm going to be inviting you in so you can air your views. Tell us what you think about this. How do we enable women that find themselves in a polygamous situation to act in their own best interest without fear of the bias that I encountered in my own dissolution process? How do we encourage these women? What can we do to change the narrative? We want women to be emboldened. We want women to be brazen enough to say, I have been cheated. I have been lied to. I was defrauded. Who I married and the contract I signed is not what is obtainable in my marriage today. I want out, and I want my children's interest to be protected. Their welfare, their upbringing, everything that concerns them, I want it to be secured irrespective of the dissolution. That is the reason why women are not acting in their own best interest. It's not because they don't know what to do, but it's because they are scared. They are scared. Women are being victimized in every situation like this. Should they choose to remain in the marriage, they will suffer. Should they choose to exit the marriage, they will still suffer. So how can we help to act in their own best interest? I'm inviting Daddy Freeze. I'm inviting Daddy Freeze to join in.
Yes. Hello. We are here.
Hello, darling.
Hi, darling. All right,
After
guys.
the whole drama of today.
So sorry. We had
It
an
was
audio,
connected.
but we're back now.
Yeah.
A lot of people are asking, what is your topic?
Yes, my topic, or rather the topic for today, is why are men, or rather why is the statutory marriage act laws not binding to men that commit polygamy? Why is the statutory marriage act law not binding to men that commit polygamy?
Commit bigamy, you mean?
That commit bigamy. Bigamy is the byproduct of polygamy. Men that suddenly become or choose to become polygamous in a monogamous marriage setting. Why is the statutory marriage act law not binding? Because if it were binding, these men will be called adulterers. These men will be fined for committing bigamy, and they will be mandated to contribute to the welfare of the children, ensure that the children are well taken care of. The woman is compensated financially for their own flaws. So why are these laws not binding? Why are we not seeing cases of men that have committed bigamy being punished for committing bigamy? And why are women that have been cheated not acting in their own best interest? What is holding them back?
You see, you need to understand that our religions our traditions, our culture, and the totality of our ideology is always tilting in the direction of misogyny and
patriarchy.
And until we start creating a balance for a new emerging world, I tell people this: if our cultures and our traditions are so good, we will not be begging from those ones that don't have culture and tradition. We are a summation of our beliefs, our ideologies, our practices, and the result is poor. By their fruit we shall know them. What are our fruits? Right now, the world is at war. We should be benefiting from it. We should be able to sell our crude oil, but we can't even refine it. We're producing how many millions of barrels is our capacity? 2-point-something million. How many are we producing? 1-point-something million, according to a statement I read the other day. And most of our, why do we have our elders as leaders? Elders always know best. It's still part of the problem, our culture. Look at what we're talking about today in Igbo land. If a man does not pay dowry for a child, the child belongs to the family. Abroad, there's something called DNA. Nobody cares about what your family wants. Oh, I just need to walk in there with a copy of the DNA. This is my child. You cannot deprive me of that. But our archaic traditions, old traditions, and let me tell you what our traditions are. They're nothing but peer pressure put upon us by dead people.
Yeah,
These people have
absolutely.
died, but yet they're manipulating us, still controlling us. My child is eternity is determined not by emotions and sentiments, but by biological to relinquish. Unless I personally to relinquish that power of my paternity. A family cannot say, because if you not marry our daughter, our child is fam, not in 2022. If you leave a man in many parts of Nigeria, you are supposed to give children unless the children are still breastfeeding. So a woman has kids, but then she has the kids because they don't belong to her. They belong to who paid her price. This kind of nonsense you can't try it abroad.
Absolutely, you can't.
Whether to admit it or not, it is nonsense. Don't put your children through it. If your parents were not brave enough and smart enough to pull you out of these traditions, you should be smart enough not to allow your children.
Exactly.
And moving from there, that's like women have few rights. A man can be polygamous, and they will say, sorry, is a man is allowed. Why can't a woman have 2 husbands so the man can see what he feels like?
Thank you so much, Modestus Bernard. Thank you for joining in.
All right.
Thank you, Lady Tesbot. Thank you.
Let me allow
Daddy Freeze, please, you're still here with
Daddy.
us because we have some questions that we also like to ask. But I want Modestus Bernard and hello, what's your name, please? I can't hear you. I think your network is not good.
Yeah, I think the audio is bad.
Okay, Modestus Bernard, let us hear your views on this. What's your take? What would you advise? How can we move forward from this archaic practice?
Yes,
cruel
I think
that enslaved women.
I think we need to look at our culture and also our mindset, our culture and our mindset. For instance, the world is becoming a global village,
Yeah.
And most of those cultures are no longer relevant. It is now who choose to apply it and who choose not to apply it. For instance, the lady in question,
Choice.
Yes, it's not about choice. Yes, it doesn't kill. The culture doesn't kill. It doesn't say if you didn't do this, you will die. Yes, and so it's now about our mindset. If we develop our mindset, we'll be able to go beyond these cultural restraints. Yes, and so, but most people find it so difficult to be themselves. They find it difficult to live like human beings. For instance, the lady in question, the saga, the divorce, or the polygamy stuff. The young man really was so arrogant and so disrespectful and didn't really consider the emotions of the woman. Good. So yeah,
he was insensitive.
the woman. Yeah, we also expected the woman to fight. You understand? It's no longer for herself alone. She also did not need to be selfish here. You understand? She also need to fight for other women. Yes. She need to show that yes, women also are powerful, because there is this thing that say women rule the world. You understand? So if you allow yourself to be weak and be someone somebody can play with, then it is not just about culture here. It's about your mindset. You understand? So many things the culture is doing to us. Even in fashion, for instance, our political class, when you look at them, our president, the vice president, whatever, when they dressed, they don't dress like modern people. They dress like cultural leaders and traditional leaders. It's not helping us. When you look at their picture and look at the picture of the presidents of the world and all the rest, you feel ashamed to be a Nigerian. You understand? But they say they are culture. I don't know how a president will represent, is now a model that will be modeling our culture. You understand? What is the role of our traditional should be the ones that are wearing agbada and all the rest. The president and the vice president, ministers should dress on suit. They look so corporate. And when they dress that way, they can reason very well. Okay, imagine you making a speech and your cloth is falling down, you're crying, it doesn't really, So we need to look at culture and religion. And that is why Daddy Freeze is really God sent. He needs to really keep it up, keep talking to Nigerians so that we understand that the world is changing and we don't have to be
embrace
left behind. Yes,
we have
the
to
change. Yes, it's very, very important. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bernard. Thank you, Lady Tesla. Thank you for joining.
Thank you. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm going to be bringing in 2 more people, but I think the network is not. They are unable to join. Yeah. They're in a bad network area, I guess. So we heard what Modestus Bernard had to say. It all has to do with the choice you make. No one is bound and gagged by culture these days.
Nobody is killing, is being killed. Nobody is, nobody's.
But it is left for us to act in our own best interest. If you know that that particular cultural requirement is not going to do justice to you and what you represent, you are not compelled to uphold that culture. We have archaic traditions that should be abolished, barbaric traditions that should be abolished, traditions that are not progressive. And if you're faced with such a situation, it is your call to choose to obey tradition at the expense of your own welfare. So thank you, Bernard, for that.
Thank you very much. A lot we need to abolish when it comes to culture, and most of those cultural things we have to just see them now as fun. You know, once in a while, we bring them out and make fun of them. It's no longer going to be our lifestyle. It's not really good. So many things are really so archaic, so timid to practice in this modern world as culture.
Sorry to cut you short. Another point I think parents, this one is for parents, we should look into this and take it seriously. Parents should stop encouraging their children to get into marriage when they are not financially empowered. Here in Africa, we believe that once a woman gets to a certain age, she is ready for marriage. Marriage comes with a lot of responsibilities. You're not just getting financially empowered in order to contribute to the marriage, but you're getting financially empowered so in the course that the marriage goes south, you can quit that marriage, knowing that you have the financial standing to get a legal counsel, knowing that you have the financial standing to take care of yourself and your children.
Very well.
Should your spouse decide to act irresponsible? When I filed for my divorce, that was in 2002, up until date, as of 2003 till date, I did not get 1 naira in children support, children welfare from the father of my children. I didn't get a penny. And the message was, the moment you get tired and financially exhausted in taking care of these children, you will return them to me. So where does that put a woman that is not financially empowered? Where does that put you? You have no other alternative but to return the children to their father, because our system has failed us. The judicial system is not going to stand up for that woman that does not have the financial ability capacity to say no. Irrespective of the fact that the marriage has been broken down, you have to continue caring for the children. Irrespective of the fact that the marriage has broken down, both parties have equal rights to the children.
Very well.
But guess what? The person that have the financial upper hand usually wins custody in the Nigerian High Court.
Which is not the way.
That is not the way it should be in 2022. That is not the way it should be in 2022. And that is why we are saying that there are enablers, people enabling this cruel deeds to be done to women. So if you know you're in the position to turn things around, to make it easier for women to be able to stand up and say, I have been cheated. I want to come out of this union. I am in a toxic marriage. I want to come out. I need help. Women should be able to access help easily. We have to move from talking to doing. What can we do to empower these children, these women? Parents have to educate their children, ensure that they are financially empowered before getting married. Women, you need to up your financial game. If you do not have a good financial standing as a woman, a man is going to toy with you. When push comes to shove, a man is going to toy with you. So we also need to ask ourselves, while we are hoping that the enablers of this terrible situation that women have found themselves in, the enablers will repent, will see the error in their act and change these laws that are enslaving women in toxic relationships.
Yes. And I want to say something here. And it has to also start from the early stage. From the very time a Nigerian girl starts dating a boy as a boyfriend, they should stop making it to be a liability. Like when you see a girl now say, how are you? This and the next thing is send me a recharge card. Do this one, do this one, this one. So it is that mentality. When you build from there, it lasts. No, so a lot of Nigerian girls think that because you are dating a guy, It is his responsibility to take care of you in every financial need. That is really wrong. So when you grow up with that, it becomes your lifestyle. Even in marriage, you'll still be waiting for your husband to do everything for you and listen. So some men will take advantage of that, and that is really going to be a problem for you. So from that early stage, we need to make it balanced. Relationship is not about the man taking care of you financially. There is so many things a man can do for you beyond money. And those are the things that are very, very important. Respecting you, caring for you in so many other ways beyond
that
money.
mentality
Let it not just be
change. That mentality
it needs to change from that grassroots, from that very early stage. So if we can get it right from there, every parent should start talking to the girls. Don't always task their boyfriend about money. Listen, it is not what should make you know that this guy loves you or doesn't love you. You know, it is straight. If it's about money, it means that it is trade by barter, and tomorrow is going to be abused. So let's start getting it right from that early stage, so that when you now go in to live with a man as a husband, there will be equality. This man will respect you because you know you are not going to rely on him for buying your makeup or whatever. You can take care of yourself, and you know. So when it's time for gift, you can give him gift. He can give you. You can take him out. He can take you out. He can take you for holiday. You can take him. So it has to be balanced that way.
That has to change. You know, it really has to change. It has to change.
Sure.
The mindset has to change. You're right. And parents have a huge role to play in this. So the schools, sweet things, sweet flute berry says, the mentality comes from demographic challenges and is instilled by the parents from the childhood. Sweet ocean berries, thank you so much for this. Yeah. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you, Lady.
Yeah, the mentality has to change. The
mentality,
Mother Sus Bernard, it has to change because it doesn't just happen overnight. It's coming from their upbringing, you know, the perception of who they see themselves as.
They just see it as a normal life, that when a boy say hi to you, you have win a jackpot. You will start telling him, I need this, I need that, and if he didn't give you, you start getting angry, and you know, it's not a right. It's just, you know, if he choose to, and if he have, you know, and if you yourself you have, you can also take care of your boyfriend. You know, so there is nothing. You know, women are more powerful. Honestly, if a woman understands the strength of a woman, you will know how powerful he is. There's no man that is powerful enough to achieve anything in this world without any little support from a woman. Women are, you know, the Bible said God created a man and found him lonely and gave him a woman as a helper. Listen, so you can't be a helper and
we are trying so hard to add some other person, but I don't know. I think the network, we're finding it really difficult. I don't know what the problem is. I would have loved to hear what they have to say concerning this, but I don't know what. Daddy Freeze, is your network good over there?
Yes, my network is good, and I network you clearly.
Yeah, the network is fine here too.
I can't seem to add. We have 9 live requests, but we're unable to add anyone. So I don't know if it's their network.
Yes, you have to remove the last person. If you don't remove someone, you can't. You can only have 4 people.
Okay.
Can I speak now?
Please.
Yes.
Thank you for joining in. Let me.
All right. Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Swiss Ninja.
All right.
It will be nice if you can leave because your network is very bad.
His network is bad, but he's not leaving, and I'm unable to remove him to bring somebody
Okay,
else.
just leave him.
I'm also trying to go out. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so
Can I
let me
speak?
try to bring in.
Yes,
Yes,
okay.
we've been waiting for you, but your network is not permitting us to see you or hear you.
Oh, wow.
Hello,
Samaria.
Hello, sir.
Samaria.
Azalis, how you doing?
Fine, thank you.
So what's your take on this?
I'm sorry, I lost the network at some point. So, I know the last question you asked was how we can empower women, right?
Yes.
Okay, please just refresh the question again so I be on the same
Yeah.
page.
How can we empower women that find themselves in a monogamous situation to act in their own best interest without fear of the
Okay,
biases that we have? Yeah.
okay, ma. The question, sorry, I know it's the question you just asked me, but pardon me, please. Do you really think these women find themselves? Is it like they were not forced into it to start with?
Sorry?
These women, most of them were not forced into such situations, right? Let's forget
Yeah.
about the case, the one trending right now, but the majority of them, they weren't forced in it. Because for you to be able to, some willingly, in fact, there are a lot of women that are still willing to be second wife, third wives. So not like they do not know that the men already have one. A lot of women don't care. They don't mind. So, but then for those of them that may, in a case, let's say the exact thing that is happening right now, I still feel like it's an individual thing. Because there are women that will tell you no matter what their husband does, they're not going, they're not living. Even if he marries a second
They will
wife,
stay
the least
and fight
the
there. They'll
least
stay and
exactly
fight
the
and
least they
die
would
there.
do, yeah, the least they would do may be to be upset for a while. And like we always say, time heals. You know, they'll still go back. So it's first of all, it's a thing of the heart. It's the willingness for somebody to first of all want to come out. Because women will tell you, oh, you want me to leave my husband because he married someone else. I will stay and fight. If I leave, someone else is going to go back. He's going to get a second wife or another wife. And then what will happen to me? So it's a thing of choice. Yeah. If it were to be in a case of a domestic abuse, then I would say, okay, fine, let's look for a way to help out. But in a situation like that, it's a thing of choice. You can't force them to come out. So the only thing
Right.
is, should it be done out of, let's say, we don't have a working system. We all know that. But let's say if you are wedded in a court with that man and he behaves that way without your consent, then that's where the society, the government would need to, you know, do justice to it.
Yeah,
So
what I'm saying, sorry, maybe I didn't say well. What I'm saying is this: we have a lot of women that find themselves in this situation, and
yes,
in their own hearts, like what they really want is actually to leave that man. That's what they want. But when they look at their bank accounts, they know they don't have any money. Okay? They can't afford legal counsel. They will not be able to take care of the children financially. So they remain. So they are not remaining in that marriage because they want to, but they are remaining because the system has failed. You know, in a civilized country, a woman that wants to leave that marriage would be supported. The children, for example, would be taken care of adequately in terms of finances. They are going to ensure that the man pays for children, welfare, upkeep, and all of those things. But in this country, there is no system in place for that. I'm telling you from experience.
No, that's true.
For the 10 years I was in court, we made the judge even know that the children are nothing is being sent to the children for their welfare. And the judge simply said both parties should exercise patience until she gives her judgment. That means the best interest of the children is not being considered. So whether the children are living under the bridge, they are starving in the course of the 10 years the dissolution is going to take.
Child
They can't be
support.
bothered.
The government should implement child support in that case. Because
So
government,
that's what I'm saying. We have to implement child support. What can we do So that child support will be implemented, not just on the men. If the woman is the person with a higher income, whoever it is that has the higher income should continue to pay for child support through the pendency of the dissolution. See, if women in Nigeria know that child support is a must and the government will ensure it happens, the judiciary will ensure that it happens. I'm telling you, a lot more women will be walking out of marriages when things like this happen.
No, that's true.
Absolutely.
And not just, I
A lot
think
more
if you
women.
ask me, if you also ask me my opinion, sorry, I would say that it would be wise for us to have activists, functioning activists on that aspect of
activism, NGOs, a lot more NGOs.
Let's set up NGOs, women that will stand against women to help them, judges, lawyers. Because over here, for example, here in the States, there are a lot of them, there are a lot of NGOs that help all those women's rights. They help them to make sure they get funds from governments. I mean, our money shouldn't only be used for unnecessary things, unnecessary budgets. They should map up money for situations like that. I know that we coming from a place where a lot of rights are abused. Should we go on things that will definitely be abused? We know that.
Yes.
It would definitely be abused. But then with proper legalization and the rest of them, rules and people that will be mapped out, we are just corrupt.
Something as basic as shelters. I was of the opinion if you can have NGOs that have shelters for these women. You see, in the middle of the night, I was beaten, I was almost killed, right? If I didn't have a father that was, my late father was very connected, he could call police and get police to my house by 2 a.m. to arrest my ex. How many women will have parents that can do that? So we need the government to step in. We need security agencies to step in. We need shelters for these women.
Somebody asked,
should your life be endangered like this? Should your life be endangered like this in the middle of the night? Who do you call for help? Is there a shelter where the woman can be kept with her children? Is there a shelter she can run to? You know, we have a few NGOs here in Nigeria, but I tell you, it is a drop in the ocean. It is nothing compared to the cases that we have. And some are not even functional. You will see the phone numbers, you will see the address, but when it happens and you call, there's nobody to answer. You get no response. So it's not functional.
And somebody is asking, would the Northerners agree to pay child support? You see, we're also coming from a place that is kind of a lot of things go on. Would the Northerners, for example,
if the government is serious and the government passes a law that cuts across all religious sectors, every Nigerian citizen will be forced to obey that law.
That's right.
Okay, it's just like saying if you're 18 and above, you are expected to vote, right? You're not going to say because I'm a Northerner, I'm not going to vote, or because I'm from the East. Everybody above the age of 18 is expected to vote. So if the government should come with a stringent policies that cuts across all religious sectors and says, this is the law. As long as you are in Nigeria and you have that green passport, you must obey the laws of the land. I think that is all we need. Passing the laws and enforcing the laws. That is it. And people will begin to wake up.
But another reality, things like when we talk about ways to help out, there may be factors, a lot of factors that would affect this decision. Because you talk about where we have, let's say, a lot of these men don't even have a stable job. They don't even earn something meaningful to be able to take care of this family of theirs. And is this even frustration that leads to a lot of these abuses and these things that go on? So even if the government, let's say, should the government decide to set up, let's say, these organizations that would work towards, this thing we're talking about now. I mean, a lot of them will still tell you that, look, they can't even afford to be of help. And IM will get in it, because usually what we do is IM. People will leave people that they're supposed to render help to and start rendering help to their own relatives and, based on recommendations. So, I mean, it's saddening, but not just the government. We as individuals can do this. Those of us that are rich, I'm not going to say me. Those of them that are rich, that pop a lot of,
can contribute to this
drinks.
Cause.
Exactly. A lot of them can donate to the wellness of this.
Everything we cannot leave everything to the government.
On the government alone.
Even in civilized societies, The government doesn't run the whole show 100%.
Exactly.
We have
True.
individuals, you know, that sensitize the women, assist them with welfare issues and matters like this. So this cry is not just for the government, it's not just for the legislature, it's for every citizen of Nigeria that knows he or she has what it takes to make this change. Because like you said, some women are willing to remain in that marriage and die there. But there are some that are actually willing to come out.
To be out. Yeah.
So for those,
empowerment.
For those that are willing to come out, we need to reach out and help. We need to reach out and help them.
We have a lot of people, we have a lot of rich people back home that can invest in this. They can help, they can support the youth, they can support women empowerment through this.
You see, but another problem, another challenge we're going to face is when you look at the ratio of rich men to rich women in almost any country in the world, especially in Africa, you find out that we have more rich men than rich women. And here in Africa, the African man still believes that women should not be empowered.
Exactly.
So the men are going to kick against this reform.
Exactly.
Yeah, because they believe that the moment they start empowering women, or they have these social groups to help women do this, they can no longer enslave their wives. Because let's face it, who are the perpetrators of these deeds? The men. Who are the perpetrators doing this to their wives?
The same people.
It's the same people. And then we're now crying out to the same people to help to amend these laws, to help to start up these NGOs. So it still boils down to the same men running the show. You're asking them to change the system that enables them to enslave their wives.
The same men that would even prefer to get hold of the children. They would prefer to have the children in their own custody and let the woman go out there in the streets.
Exactly.
So it has to do with the mentality. The mentality will have to change first before anything else. You know.
And that is why it is so sad when I see women in the judiciary, when I see women in the legislature, when I see women in government that are supposed to be helping to push these reforms. When I see them taking sides with the men in frustrating women, I weep. Because these are the people we're supposed to look up to and say, wow, a woman is finally in this office. We're going to make progress. And then that same woman is going to look her fellow woman in the face and will not care what she's going through. It is sad.
Right.
Women in Africa, we are our own biggest problem. I don't know in other African countries, but what I've seen here in Nigeria, women are not supporting women. We say it, we put it on Instagram, women supporting women. But in reality, I tell you, we're not supporting.
That's right. I mean, the thing is, we need to help ourselves. We women should be able to stand. If we women start by helping ourselves, don't be your fellow woman's enemy. That's one step ahead, because we just talk about we love ourselves, women, empower women, but at the end of the day, this is your fellow woman. Why would you want to go there? Why would you want to spoil her joy? Is that the only place you should go to? There are a lot of, how many billion people we have in the world? Why must it be that man in particular? Why do you derive so much joy in hurting her emotions? I mean, we all forgot, and we still forget that it's the same stuff they use in whipping the first one that they will still use in whipping you. I mean, look at the case of, I don't want to mention them, but the popular man we know that took the kids away from the wife. A situation like that, women are still going. Even the one that they took her kids away, before she went in there, she saw people were there. So how do you even expect to help people who deliberately go into something knowing fully well that place is not the best place for them to be? You know, we just have to, I don't know, it's a sad one. Maybe only one day things will be better.
Thank you so much for joining in. Thank you. Honestly, you've shed a lot of light on this topic, and I hope people that are listening will begin to think of ways that we can come together as a society to start helping women. You know, women helping women, women in positions of authority, helping to change the laws, enact new laws, reform old ones that are not progressive, you know, and if we can form more help organizations, welfare groups, outreach groups that can help these women.
Even the church can do
Those,
the church can do it too.
those that want
Since
to come out,
yeah, church
not
can do
those
this
that do
too.
not want to come out.
Church,
Churches
yeah,
can do
because
it,
churches
but you
can do
see,
it
the
because these
churches will
people
not. The churches will not do it because they are going to see it as
they are
encouraging
encouraging them.
divorce.
I know
They
that's
are
the
not
problem.
going to see it as helping a woman come out of a toxic situation. They are going to see it as encouraging divorce. And the churches here in Nigeria, it's sad, but they believe that divorce is evil, divorce is a sin, until they begin to understand that some marriages ought to end in divorce. We're not going to make
Yeah.
any headway with the churches. It's a
Yeah,
sad
but I
truth.
mean, if I own a church, I wouldn't mind doing a thing like that because these people still bring the money to me at the end of the day. So if they can bring the money to me because they want me to help with my congregation to vote them in, that's fine. I will use it to empower women. But like you said, what can we do?
I believe the more we just keep
Okay, but
talking about it,
you
people
are
will
the
wake
best.
up.
Your food is the
Yes.
best. I see all the posts. You are doing great. Thanks a
Oh,
lot. I love to see
thank you
beautiful
so
women who
much.
are good in the kitchen. Thank you
Thank,
so much. Whenever I
thank you
find
for
my way back
coming.
home,
Have a
I'm sure
lovely
we'll have fun.
weekend.
You
Bye-bye.
too. Ciao, bye.
Bye. So thank you all for joining in. We're unable to take more requests. Those of you that wanted to join in, I'm sorry I couldn't bring you on time, and we've done over an hour. So please stay with us. Same time next week. We're going to be here late night Saturday discussing topical issues on the way forward. So if you are a woman, please, I want you to go home today thinking of ways you can empower your fellow women. And if you are a woman and you happen to be in a position of authority, either in the legislature, in the security agencies, in the government, in whatever place you find yourself in, and you know you can effect these changes that we want to see in our society, please, I am begging you. We're not just doing this show to entertain. We are doing this show to liberate women. We are doing this show to empower women. We are doing this show to inform women of what they can actually do for themselves and what their rights are as a citizen of this great country. So please, we need to change the narrative. Women that want out from a toxic marriage have options. We want them to know their options, and we want them to know how they can get help. So please, if you're interested in starting a shelter for abused women, you're interested in starting a shelter where abused women and children can be housed for a temporary period or for as long as possible, please let us know. If you're interested in paying for legal counsel for women that are in toxic situations that want to come out, please let us know. We have some women that have reached me that want legal counsel, but they do not have funds. We have those women. So it's not everybody that wants, that desires to continue to remain in a toxic situation. Some women want out, but they don't know how to get help. So if you are interested in lending out a hand, a helping hand, helping these women, starting up something that can create awareness and bring about solutions to women enslaved in toxic situations, please send me a message. Send me a message in my DM, send me a WhatsApp message, give me a call. I am not just talking, I'm interested in helping women out. Women need to know that they are not slaves. We just don't want to keep talking. We want to help. We want to make a change. I do not want women to go through what I went through. If I have ways of ensuring that every woman that is suffering some sort of enslavement in a toxic situation can be helped, I will help that person. So if you know you can offer help, you have solutions on how we can help this women, send me a DM, call me up. Thank you all for joining in. Do have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And this is Life's Journey with Benedicta. Bye-bye.